faculty as a part-time lecturer. I'm also on the leadership team at a church in Hillcrest, and when I lecture in architecture, I occasionally give a thought for the day to get the guys thinking about things in life, because I feel that in life we get thrust into these decisions at university, and I think you guys aren't taught anything unless you specifically go and try and find information on stuff. You're not going to learn anything, and decisions, you get forced into decisions which you haven't really had much experience or thought about. So that's why I want to give you this talk. I'm hoping that you learn something. If you don't learn anything, well, you can have your money back. But I first want to say that sex is God's idea. You might not have thought about that, but pleasure is often associated with the devil. You think, oh no, anything that's nice, anything that's good is bad. Well, it's not. God designed sex. He's not like up there in heaven looking down and saying, oh no, what are they doing now? He knows exactly what you're doing, and He planned it that way, and it's a great thing. And God made men and God made women, and He made them very differently. And I want to talk a bit about that because I think we don't understand the opposite sex all that well. Ladies, us guys have something that runs through our blood, and it's called testosterone. And if you knew how it affected us guys, I think you'd be even more disgusted with us than you already are. We have a testosterone rush, and it messes with our brains. We get it often early in the morning, like at 4 a.m. And suddenly, all of a sudden, doom, you have a hard problem. and it's not like we're thinking of anything bad, or we're watching porn on our phones. No, it's just testosterone. And I know when I was in first year, we had Dawnies, we had first lectures at 7:45. We'd come into the lecture theatres in winter, and the aircon's on, and it's freezing cold, and all the blood goes to your skin. And same thing again. And now you've got girls in the class, and you're looking and you're thinking, please turn the lights off. You're watching. So, ladies, just be aware that that's normal. God made that, and that's something that affects us. And it's about a 3 to 4 day cycle that guys have with that. Women, on the other hand, are driven by something completely different called estrogen, and that's on a 28-day cycle. Now guys, you might have heard a few jokes about this PMS thing. You need to learn to live with it, because it's going to mess with your life for the rest of your life when you get married. Just before the ladies have their periods, they have a very low level of estrogen, and it makes them crabby and unpleasant, and it's not their fault. I once fasted. I don't know if any of you guys did that 40-hour famine to help raise funds for stuff. And when you fast, you also get crabby and short-tempered and irritable. And I think that, for me, is the nearest I've ever experienced to how I think the ladies sometimes feel. And guys, I wouldn't worry too much about it, because when your lady is in that premenstrual stage, she's going to be a different person than she is just in a week's time. So just take it in your stride, just absorb it, and just wait a few days, and things will be cool again. All right, I just want to teach you that, because nobody's probably taught you that before. Certainly if you've never had any sisters, like I never had any sisters. There are a couple of good movies out that teach about men and women. I don't know, have any of you seen the movie When Harry Met Sally? It's quite an old movie now. Go and get it. It teaches you interesting things, like, for example, he says in the movie, guys think about having sex with all the girls they know. And she says, even the ugly ones. He says, yeah. And that's true. So, I'm just telling you the truth, guys. And girls, guys, they're probably going to fake it at some time. I know you're the stud, and I know you're going to seduce her, and it's going to be wonderful. At some time or other, she might maybe she's going to fake it. But just accept that it's real, it's part of life. Alright, guys are stimulated visually. Girls, you need to know this. I'm sure you do already. I was just walking around campus and I'm looking, sure. So I think girls know how to catch guys. But remember that that's true in marriage as well. That you need to keep the guy visually stimulated. And a guy can be turned on like that. You know, he can be doing his own thing, working in the garage, doing his own thing. You walk past him in your little negligee, ching, he's ready. But guys, girls are not like that. If you are keen on your lady and you want to have a good time tonight, you must start in the morning. Women need time. They need romance. You know, be nice to her, open the door in the morning, make sure her car's full of petrol, do nice things. You know, I think this is crazy, but it's true. I've tried it and it's true. If you do the dishes, 80% more chance of having sex that night. Guys, I'm telling you, it works. And we'll talk a bit more about it next week in relationships, in love, and the way people perceive love. So beware of that. And something else which I just want to touch on, it's a bit embarrassing, but it's something which, guys, you need to learn, is that if you're not using condoms and you do it, what you put in there comes out, and it comes out later. So you might have had a great time the night before, but you're sitting in church the next morning and suddenly the woman is angry with you and all upset. You know, it's probably because something's wet and not very pleasant. So just be aware of that in your life. I certainly didn't have a clue about these sorts of things. I'm just sharing with you life issues. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about sex in the Bible, because that's where my angle's coming from. People might say, okay, the Bible is very clear on adultery. We all know adultery is wrong. I'm not going to have any flings once I get married, but before I get married, you know, it's okay to have 2 or 3. Why not sit around a bit, get to know, what it's like, da-da-da. The Bible doesn't say that's wrong, is it? Well, the Bible talks about fornication, the word fornication, or sexually immoral, and it's very clear on that fact. 1 Corinthians 6:18, 1 Corinthians 7 verse 2, Ephesians 5 verse 3, Deuteronomy 22. But I'm not going to say to you, you mustn't, because you're not going to listen to, who's going to listen to some ugly 45-year-old? Like, I'm just going to tell you some stories, and you must make up your own decisions. Okay, when I was in 3rd year or 4th year, I got my first girlfriend. How I got a girlfriend, I don't know, miracles happen. I discovered, we kind of went away on like a semi-Christian group thing. I discovered that she'd already slept with 8 guys. And I had to learn to deal with that. The first guy that had slept with her, if I mention his name, you probably know who he is. He was interviewed on East Coast Radio not long ago. His name is mentioned. And anyway, I was dating this girl, and he works at the Playhouse. That's a hint of who he is. And we went to go see a play with him in it. And afterwards, we had coffee at the restaurant, and he came up and sat with us. And she started stroking his arm. Man, I wanted to kill this thing. I just wanted to knock his block off. Anyway, I got up, I went and I smashed the toilet door, or the wall, I can't remember, and I didn't. But I said to her, have you done it in water? Yes. Have you done it to music? Yes. Have you done this style? Yes, yes, yes. So what's left for me? If I married this girl, what's left for me? I think of another friend of mine. He was your average guy, okay? If he could get into a girl's panties, he would. Just your ordinary guy, not a Christian, not anything, just a guy. He told me a story once. He got a girl in the back of the car. He was taking all her clothes off. He nearly had all her clothes off. So she looked deeply into his eyes and said, "Do you love me?" And he said, "No." And she got all her clothes and she started crying and she left the car. And he said to me, "Next time I'm going to say yes." But, You know, he was studying architecture with me and started dating a girl who was studying architecture with me, and she had slept with one other guy, and he wanted to kill her. But he didn't mind being that oak to other girls' future husbands. You see what I'm saying? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you want to sleep around, oh, that's fine. Get a girl that slept around as well, and you're going to deal with all that baggage. Okay, how far? You know, when I was in first year, most of the girls in my class, I think, were virgins still. By third year, most of them weren't, even the Christian ones. And I think often they don't intend that to happen, but it just happens. I'm going to say something now. I want all the guys to close their ears. No, it's fine, it's fine. The question is, how far should you go in dating? Now, you're all going to go further. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I'm a Christian, a strong Christian. When I started dating my wife, we went much further. But try and draw the line at the jaw. At the jaw. Now, why am I saying that to you? Why must you draw the line at the jaw? Because, and this is what I don't want the guys to know because they'll use it, kissing the neck is a key. It turns a woman on. So ladies, if you've got a guy and he's got you in a corner, he starts kissing you on the neck, stop things right there. Because you might go a lot further than you want to go. Alright, so that's why I'm telling you this. Try and keep the line at the jaw. James Dobson, he does a lot of talking, a lot of young teen stuff. He says that in America, once you've spent at least 30 hours with a partner, a girlfriend or boyfriend, you're going to end up in bed with them. That's just the national average. So what I'm saying to you guys is be careful. Because, you know, it's often the Christian girls are the ones who fall pregnant because they're the ones who aren't prepared. And then something happens, they don't intend it to happen, and boom, you're pregnant. So I would recommend that you check your geography. You want to stay celibate, check your geography. Don't end up in a compromising situation, just the two of you. I mean, you want to, but then go somewhere where it's public. Because he's going to want to go further. I mean, that's the way guys are made. It's a good thing. Guys are designed that way. But just be careful. Look, I had a couple good friends of mine. She was a Christian. She slept with a guy, and then she started dating a guy, and she slept with him, and then he became a Christian. And they decided that they were going to stop sleeping together. They did, and they didn't. They stopped sleeping together until they were married. That was hard to do, but I was, you know, they managed to do it. And if you've fallen, if you've sinned, or whatever, you know, God can cleanse you, and you can start again. And I would recommend you do that route. It's the right thing to do, and you'll be blessed because of that. I just want to show you some statistics. A person in America, they did a survey in the whole of America. If you've slept with only one person, your marriage partner, your chances of divorce are 10%. You slept with two, it jumps up to 50%. You slept with three or more, 60%. You see what an effect it has. The Jewish word for cleaving together, it's echad. It means welded together. You know, the worldview on sex is that it's just like a massage. You know, it's just a fun thing to do. We do it, and then you go do it to somebody else. There's no spiritual or deep bonding that happens there. But there is, people. Something happens at a deep level during sexual intercourse where people are bonded together, and that has an effect on you.